more than I can't imagine. I still can't imagine being with anybody else. But I was like, do I want to tie myself to him for the rest of my life? Because I've seen what that looks like. Do I actually want to do that?
Okay, so everybody here, was anybody like ultimatum, you gotta marry me, or were you like more apprehensive about marriage and he was like gung-ho?
No ultimatum. For us, it was, let's get married. Oh yeah, that'll be fun. Let's do it. We were very young too. It was just fun for us, and we were happy in that moment to be doing it. Like, we were engaged for 4 months, and we went to the Justice of the Peace and got married, and the rest is history.
My husband told somebody else we would get married before he told me. And I actually just overheard the conversation, told our niece that. And I was like, were you going to talk to me about this?
So how'd you feel about it? Were you like...
I was nervous because I was like, marriage and kids weren't even on my radar. It wasn't like I was young. I was at 28, so I was 30. And it still wasn't on my like. Okay, we got a kid now, but I still wasn't like we have to get married.
Yeah, for me, we were. First of all, my husband is 7 years older than me, so he was like, "I want to get married," and I was like, "I don't know about that." I was like, "I don't know if I want to get married." Like,
for me, marriage always seemed like it came with expectations, and I didn't want that.
Wow.
What did you think the expectations were?
You gotta have it all. You gotta be the independent woman, but make your own money, but also be pretty and all. Like all this shit. Like you gotta be on all the time.
Yeah.
And you gotta have the energy to take care of this family, and be happy. Or if you can't do both. You gotta keep it in the house. Like you can't let anybody know you're not feeling well.
Really? So it's completely opposite for me.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I was looking forward to getting married and having children and having that life partner, But I did kind of have a similar upbringing with, be independent. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Like for my mom, she's like, I don't need a man. I want a man. There's a difference. So you got to be able to do for yourself. And don't rely so much on that man to be your everything.
You know what? Now
but my father's really doting on my mom. So I saw both sides of that.
My dad was very doting on my mother, but he's such a walking, talking contradiction. He would say things like, how you gonna get a husband if you can't cook, but then go out there and make me cut the grass? You know what I'm saying? So like, am I supposed to do everything?
Right.
I don't want to do everything.
So he planted that in your mind.
Yes.
That you had to be able to do everything.
He used to say that all the time, and I'd be like, and as I got older, I just brush him off. I learned that I don't have to do whatever the hell you're talking about. Like, it doesn't have to be that way, but I grew up with those expectations. Like, I gotta know how to change the oil, I gotta know how to cook, and I gotta look good. What is he doing?
Right.
What's the expectations for him?
I could see how that could make you be apprehensive.
Yes.
Like, this is gonna be too much work for me. This married thing is gonna cause me to flip out at some point.
And they care about people's feelings.
Yeah.
Okay.
That can be a lot. That can be a lot.
So
I grew up in a household where both of my parents did everything, except my mom wasn't outside cutting the grass.
Which is funny. My dad did all of that stuff. My mom did the stuff in the house. You know how they were.
Yeah.
So why do I have to do what y'all both doing?
Yeah. My father would.
The case.
My mom would be cooking and he would be washing clothes. Like, prime example. My father did everything in the house that my mother would do.
He taught us how to make French fries.
See?
Like all kinds of stuff.
And my brother's the same way. He knows how to cook and keep a house clean, and so he does a little bit of everything. I didn't marry into that though.
Right, and that's the other thing, right? Everybody's not raised the same.
Right. So having a husband from another country where you grow up with a maid and your mom is running a restaurant, so that's the focus. Like you got to go in and clean the tables and mop the floor and stuff. But the household is like completely different. It's left to the maid. So you take your clothes off, drop them on the floor. The maid comes and picks them up. The maid is making your lunch and your dinner. So household chores was something new to him. I mean, to the point where we used to argue over it. Like, you have to help. I I work. I work.
So Hazel don't live here.
Exactly. You better go find Hazel if you want her to do your part, because I go to work, you go to work. We're both contributing financially, so you need to help in the house.
Yeah.
One of the things that I think kind of helped me through it was that, you know how, I don't know if this is true for everybody, but kind of looking at my mother-in-law, I realized that she wasn't like my, she did what she want. She didn't do a whole lot of that stuff. Mm-hmm. Like, you can cook for yourself, then cook for yourself. Mm-hmm. You clean up after yourself. My mom would be cleaning the house, complaining the whole time. Y'all don't help me around here. And I understand that. Nobody wants to do it. Somebody has to do it, right? Mm-hmm. But my mother-in-law, she was like, girl, no. So I was like, so he better not expect, too much different. But I wasn't thinking to myself, well, we lived together before we got married. And I came in there bringing some of the selects, bringing some of my mom. But I didn't really want to do it. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to do that stuff. Mm-hmm. And this is to say marriage, and I'm like, oh, wait, I got to lock myself into this?
Mm-hmm. Right, and now you feel like I have to do it.
Yeah, now I have to do it because this is what I put out there. Only because it needed to be done. Not because I wanted to do it.
It's not wife duties. It's not just duties.
It's
that's why I did this.
Duties.
I know. No, yeah.
Household duties.
It's household duties.
Yeah.
I had to actually write a list because I was getting so fed up. I wrote a list of everything I do in the house and everything he does in the house. And my list was more than double the length of his.
Oh.
And so seeing that, he was like, damn. Because he's not thinking about everything that I do.
That's the problem.
So, like, even like me being sick.
Because you do it and
right.
they don't see you doing it.
They don't see you doing it, right. When I was sick and he would have to clean the house. But there were things that he just didn't think to do. That I'm like, okay, you clean the bathrooms, but can you clean the mirrors? Like, they're just little things that he just is not used to. He wasn't raised to have to do household chores. He had other responsibilities. But it's a learning process, but we had to get through all the arguments to get to the place where I was like, look, I don't want to argue with you, but I need your help. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to show you this list of things.
So this brings me back to the original question with the open marriage thing. Mm-hmm. So let's say you do go along with it. That person is getting a good time. They don't live with you. They getting to fund you.
Very good
and then
point.
You in the house resentful. Yep. Like, I've been out with this man. You ain't been in here cleaning up, taking care of these kids. Why should I take care of these kids while you out having a good time?
Yeah. But you get to have a good time too. When it's your turn.
Yeah, when it's your turn. But while I'm out, you might be in here festering. Like,
well, if he agreed to it and y'all both agreed to it, then he either needs to speak up and say, okay, this is not what I want anymore because I'm feeling away every time you leave.
Mm-hmm. I'm definitely.
And it's going to be a problem if I keep feeling this way. I'm going to start acting out or whatever. Or he can be completely okay with it and be able to roll with it and not feel that way.
See, I married King Petty, and I know who I married. So.
Oh yeah,
I know
me too.
It would not. And we, I'm fine with it, but that's why I know it wouldn't. It couldn't happen.
Mm-hmm. It couldn't happen. That's what I'm saying. Like, I know that it couldn't happen, no matter what the circumstances were with my husband.
Yeah, like,
it would not happen.
Yeah, with my current husband.
Right.
It ain't happening. Another man touching me?
Honestly, I don't think I could be married again if it didn't work out.
You said that.
I stand by it.
My husband says that.
Yeah.
Can you tell
what Leon said that too.
Bro, so what you gonna do for the rest of your life? You just gonna be out here? He was like, I'm just gonna be hitting everything moving. I was like, I cannot.
Yeah, my husband said the same thing. He's not getting married again.
Because it's the pain for them. It's like my heart will be broken and I won't be able to recover from it. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to drag another woman through. Like, I'll be honest with them and tell them what I'm looking for, but I would not be in another serious relationship.
I had to tell him because we were talking about actually death. So becoming a widow or a widower, would you consider getting remarried? And he said no. Mm-hmm. He was like, you're my wife. That's it. That's it. So, yeah, and I'm like, please go on with your life. If you find someone and y'all are good for each other, get married. Mm-hmm. Remarry. And if you don't, I'm going to haunt you until you marry that woman. Like, get married.
I'm going to haunt you till you
marry.
If you make her your wife.
Yes, if you find someone and you're really in love, Go on with your life.
Well, Ramal hasn't. I haven't talked to my husband about it, but my daughter straight up told me, "You're my only mommy.
That's right.
Forever,
That's
always.
okay.
I'm never gonna have another mommy. Even in the next life, you're gonna be my mother." I was like, "Oh,
Okay.
girl, you better talk to your daddy about that. What if something happened to me? You gonna let him do your hair? Who do you think? Like, there's some things that only you and I can do and share, and like, you're gonna need women in your life." She was like, I got Gigi, I got Mama, I got Auntie. 6 years old. She's like, nope.
I understand that. Yeah. If either one of my parents had remarried, I still have my other parent. You know?
Right.
I can have a relationship with a step parent. That's fine. I have a good relationship with my mom's boyfriend right now. You know? Like, that's fine. But I know who my father is.
Right.
Nobody's taking his place. Nobody's taking her place. But
That's interesting. That's something I've never had to think about, really. Like, I don't know. I think if my mom left my dad or my dad alone, I would be I wouldn't want to know anything about a new relationship.
don't even
I mean, it's
bring
been
it to me.
Yeah, like, I don't even take it seriously. Like, I don't even want to know.